Mind the gap between the train and the platform.
Hello. Hi everyone. I haven't seen you in a while. So I'm just going to do a voiceover and I hope you enjoy it. You can see two videos there of me wearing grey. One of them I'm made up, and in this one no makeup at all, and I look shattered because I am absolutely shattered in that video. Anyway, I try to always make sure that I have enough vitamins. It's not always possible, but I tend to juice, or I love smoothies. I think smoothies are better. What do you think? Smoothies or juicing? Smoothies have fiber. It's really good. I like to box. I find that it really distresses me. What distresses you? These days I find it quite difficult to go to the gym. So what I do is I tend to buy like new trainers or new gym gear. To be fair, I have these things. I don't normally buy them. I just tend to bring them out and to wear them. They kind of like make you want to go to the gym when you have nice Nike shoes like this, which are very light. I'm very conscious of the shoes that I wear on my feet when I exercise, basically because I like to jump and I'm not the lightest person. I do know a lot of people ask me about the different types of lawyers and picking what law is right for you. I have addressed it on this channel, but I'm going to tell you some of my experience. It might be that one day I'm able to sit down with you and just tell you about my career and how it's been and the different types of law, areas of law that I have studied in. Some people are very overwhelmed at how much variation there appears to be in the legal sector. Some people have no idea what they want to do. They do not even know the different kind of laws. I do have a lot of work experience students come to work in my firm. They could be graduates, they could be from secondary schools, they could be just people who are aspiring to become lawyers. And it's amazing because some of them have no idea what area of law they want to study in.
Come on, let out your aggression.
I love this face, gosh. You just take out all the stress. Or to practice in, and some of them actually do, but then at the end of the work experience they're normally like, this is not what I thought it was. I think I kind of like fancy family law or immigration law or corporate law. Some people actually just know what they want to do because maybe they've gone through a personal grief or tragedy, or someone is just being shaped because of the area of law that their father or their mother studied in. It could be anything really. So I want to talk about the areas of law. Civil litigation, if you do not know, I am a litigator. It basically means that I go to court to advocate for my clients. You don't need to advocate. You can just deal with paperwork as a solicitor. In England and Wales, the profession is not fused. So you can be a barrister or a solicitor. You cannot be both of them. So it's quite interesting that people actually think that if you're a litigator, you have to be in a courtroom. No, you can prepare paperwork for a barrister to attend court, which is really cool because you just give the hard work to the barrister and then the barrister goes to court and advocates. But believe me, if your paperwork is bad, you will lose your case. So it's not as simple as really giving the barrister paperwork. Paperwork has to be properly drafted, properly done. Negotiations have to be done properly, and then the proper bundle is sent to the barrister. If litigation has to be conducted because the parties have, for instance, refused to settle. This is my favorite. Civil litigation is a very, very broad area of law. So I am a general civil litigator, which means that this week I might be dealing with an employment law matter, and the next week I might be dealing with a contract matter. Some people deal with clinical negligence, medical negligence, people deal with contract law. These are all civil litigations, and because solicitors or most solicitors now like to deal with paperwork. A solicitor might just be more interested in specializing in one area of law, for example, negligence. But I like to advocate in court. It means that I would handle a broad spectrum of different areas of the civil litigation. Hi, when is the next one to Victoria, please?
Just left Edgware Road, so about 5 minutes.
5 minutes. All right. Is it best to go through Central Line? At the train?
You want Victoria, I would suggest you take the next train in 4 minutes.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
The next train will arrive in 2 minutes. It will be a Circle Line service towards Victoria.
Civil litigation is actually preparing paperwork as a solicitor, but also going to court as a solicitor or going to court with a barrister, because you can accompany a barrister to court. Now you have the corporate law. Corporate lawyers deal with legal matters concerning businesses. Many people like corporate law because of money. I dealt with corporate law and I just did not enjoy it. I dealt with businesses, but I knew from the start that I'm a one-to-one man kind of person. I like to impact people's lives, people that I see, rather than a corporation that doesn't know me and I do not know who the corporation is, because the corporation is not a person, it's a separate entity. So you're dealing with big companies that have faces that keep changing. Sometimes the secretary changes the very next week, or the person you're dealing with has changed. If you like dealing with people's problems, like dealing with people's immigration problems, housing problems, family problems, then you don't want to be dealing with corporate law. I do not like corporate law, but corporate law brings a lot of money. But I need to let you know also that family law, immigration, and these other areas of law actually bring a lot of money as well. Because if you look at it, during the coronavirus, many businesses were struggling to bring in money, but then people were still having issues with family law. People were having issues with their employers, and so solicitors practicing these other areas of law were very busy and making a lot of money. So with corporate law, it can cover a very wide range of issues, from claims against businesses from the public to overseeing mergers and acquisitions between companies. Corporate lawyers are somewhat distinct now, as they can both operate within law firms or from within the businesses themselves as part of an in-house legal team. So I used to work in an in-house legal team. I enjoyed it. My children were quite young, but I moved on and I love what I'm doing now. You didn't have criminal law. Criminal law is so interesting. I always thought that I would end up as a criminal lawyer because I always had A's in criminal law and I just love the stories. Like, who wouldn't love the stories? All of those crazy case laws that we had to deal with. But the thing about criminal law in England is it doesn't bring in a lot of money. I think we established that anyway. But then if you love to work on behalf of defendants, you will make a lot of money. If you want to work on behalf of the Crown as a prosecution lawyer, you'll make a lot of money as well, especially if it's something that you love. Employment law, we have talked about, is civil litigation, but then as opposed to a corporate lawyer who is concerned with cases that deal with claims and complaints from outside the company, employment lawyers focus on cases involving employees and employers. If you work for an employer, you will make more money than if you work for an employee. Think about it. If an employee is going to lose their job and then you're acting for them against a very big company, But I've always said to you that if you want to read the law or you're in the law, don't think about the money that you would make because you will burn out so quickly. You need to have a passion for this job, big time. So, employment law cases will normally stem from issues with pay, wrongful dismissal, or health and safety negligence. Sometimes a person would be made redundant and they would need a solicitor to advise them on what we used to call a compromise agreement, which is now called a settlement agreement. Employment law is quite fun, but you need to like that kind of law because it's quite monotonous and it doesn't pay as much. It's good money, like I said, but not necessarily like other areas of law, because if the employee has lost their job, they might not have as much to pay you. And also, if you win a case at court, you don't necessarily make all that kind of money that you would have made if you won a pure civil litigation case. Let's come to family law. Family law, you are dealing with issues between family members, and these are issues that are very tricky to resolve. So you don't always have the textbook kind of cases. Sometimes you're dealing with little issues like both advantage points and who should get it when parties separate or divorce, and they might be ready to pay you thousands of pounds to deal with that small, issue that just makes no sense. So you have to advise them properly. A lot of people think that the family law is just you dealing with divorce, but then some people do not know that you're also dealing with non-molestation orders, which is like domestic violence, or you're dealing with children. Now, when you deal with children, that's very complicated, and some people are just not able to deal with it because emotions run high. It is an emotionally charged sector. Divorce is the main component of the work that family lawyers do, but then some people just specialize in dealing with the money side.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform,
which is you dividing people's finances, or you helping people divide their finances by representing your client in court or settling matters outside of court with a good division of assets. So we are not financial advisors because we're not regulated to give financial advice, but then we can deal with finances applying the family law. So you kind of like know, what to do when the parties exchange details as to what they have, that they have a pension, and you decide how it's going to be shared through negotiations and all of that. You come up with a percentage. Most times you would have to use what we call a pension actuary, because the pension area is kind of like very specific and it's kind of like a specialist area. So you want to make sure that the parties or your client doesn't come and sue you in the future for them missing out of getting a huge part of the other party's pensions. So divorce is quite interesting in itself. You have human rights law, which a lot of people enjoy. So you're looking into like immigration matters. It's very interesting. I've always loved immigration because I've never lost an appeal. I've been really, really blessed with getting people's papers. Even if you read my review, you see a lot of people my reviews, you see a lot of people thanking me for helping them get their immigration stay in the UK and all of that. But it's not necessarily an area of law that wakes me up in the morning. I just find it very easy, and I find, that I have compassion for people who have immigration problems, and I'm able to really apply the law there. But that's not necessarily the area of law that makes me tick. You have intellectual property. I did a lot of that, and oh my gosh, I did not like it at all. I do not hate it, and I still do it, but then it doesn't wake me up in the morning. Like you're dealing with like patent, trademarks, new inventions, and from new pieces of technology to even song lyrics. People are calling you up concerning entertainment law, registering complaints if IPs are copied by other parties. And then you have personal injury, clinical negligence, and they are all different areas of law, by the way. Really try my best to make sure that I give you content. I'm practically finishing this video on another day, but please keep your questions coming. I definitely will answer them. I am collecting them all, and I do not want to give you yes or no answers, especially because your questions are quite deep. I will come back to you with as much information. Do not forget to like, subscribe, obviously, and make sure that your bell is on so that you know when I post. I plan to post twice a week. All right, then I'll see you later, and bye for now.